This week on Fade to Obsidian, we are talking all of Lightbringer. We also have divided this episode into 2 weeks because it became so long. So at the end of this one, look forward to next week when we get the rest of your answers. Welcome everybody to Fade to Obsidian, your podcast. I was like, your podcast about Red Rising relationships and spaceships. It's a lot of things. I am Skipper, joined as always by Crescent, and joined regularly by Salem. Welcome, Salem. Welcome back. You were here last week.
Welcome back.
I was.
Yeah, this isn't
and
one
now
of those.
Crescent.
This isn't one of those filler episodes that we just recorded right after. We're hammered already.
We're drunk.
Listen, it has been 2 weeks, but already we just talked for too long ahead of time as friends that we're already drunk. So we're getting there.
And now Crescent can't yell at me for not knowing what happened in the last episode.
They're all released.
Did you watch them fully?
No.
Well, there goes that theory.
There's that. All right.
Now you're back on my shit list.
Okay.
Bye, Salem. No, what are we drinking tonight?
It was nice knowing you.
Our shortest episode ever.
Yes.
Well, shit. I am drinking a hard cider from a local Pacific Northwest in Bend, Oregon. Bend, Oregon exists. It is hard dragon fruit cider.
Nice.
That sounds amazing.
There is a conspiracy theory out there that Bend, Oregon does not exist.
Why would it not exist?
They've got the last blockbuster. So
oh yeah, don't they?
Yeah.
They must exist. I don't know what the fuck more proof you want.
That's it. That's all we need. Crescent, what are you drinking?
So I'm almost done. A Summersby mango and lime. And
what's next on the list?
Next is Ardbeg Scorch, because I prefer it when Lysander's face was scorched to a crisp.
Oh, don't we all?
Atalantia did.
Well, yeah.
Other than Atalantia.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah, she does. Ugh.
No.
All right.
I have... Why couldn't that have been faded to Obsidian?
Nah.
Of all things.
Of all the episodes.
Yeah, no kidding.
Chapters, sex scenes, whatever. I'm just going to keep calling everything an episode, apparently. I have a Shipwrecked, which is... because that's how I feel like this episode's going to be, and we're clearly making it that way already.
We're getting shipwrecked tonight.
Yeah.
So it is a mojito, but as well as rum, you add whiskey. But then I said, you know what lights on fire? Absinthe. And it turns out absinthe, delicious in a mojito. So I do have a video of this one being on fire, and maybe I'll put it here now. And while that's playing, we'll explain that because we talked as friends for too long, I will be making another one shortly, which means this is just going to go downhill real fast.
Not lighting the desk on fire.
Yeah. Or your hair.
Or my hair.
Your hair on fire, please.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about my hair. The whole time I was worried
about
your
the mint leaves.
Yeah.
The binder. There's the Skipper doll. There's so much that can go up. It's going to be great. Yeah. We're going to do it again.
Also, I'd like to point out that we are all wearing the same Lightbringer shirt from Slink, who is just lost in books. She has an Etsy shop.
Yep.
So go buy her
it's
cool ass
one
merch.
Of the greatest things on the internet.
Yes, it is.
Right behind us.
Yep.
Actually, no. It's in front of us. Sorry.
It's very much in front of us. Yes, and so that brings us to why we're here today. To discuss Lightbringer. This is our Lightbringer filler episode, which during
our retrospective.
Yeah, yeah. It's
over.
It's over. And our Red Rising filler episode, we predicted that we would be crying at the end of this one. And that was before we had read it. And here we are, feeling traumatized.
Yeah.
1 year ago. Welcome back to Fade to Obsidian. This is the end of Red Rising, what I'm going to call the filler episode. You probably won't get one at the end of Golden Sun, Morning Star, Iron Gold, Dark Age. You probably will get one at the end of Lightbringer, because we'll all be traumatically...
It will be us in tears.
We'll be devastated.
It's just the whole episode, us
fine.
crying.
Just us crying.
Ball.
That was back in February of last year.
Yeah, it was a full year ago.
Yeah.
Yep. Here we are.
Yeah, it would have been
far.
very nearly exactly a year today.
Yeah. Yep. We've come so far. I was gonna continue saying it in the end. It doesn't even matter, but it does matter in this.
I
one.
went the same place.
Yeah. So today's episode, we have the Lightbringer survey to discuss. So this was sent out. Thank you to everyone who replied. We kind of harassed some people. We changed it up halfway through, I will admit, because no one wanted to send me an email. So halfway through, you got to reply in the survey. So there will be people who got to give their explanations and those who were told to email me and didn't. So in theory, you could have. But we will get to that, some of the differences that may have caused while we go through. But we want to thank everyone for sending it to us. I have seen all of these responses, and I compiled them all. I put them all together. Crescent and Salem, this is brand new information to you, correct?
That is 100% correct.
Except for what I submitted, but I'm going to be honest, I don't remember what I submitted. So.
I can't wait to roast you and be like, this person thinks, yeah.
No, I did it before that.
I can't wait to be like, this person thinks this, and you'd be like, I agree with that because it was me. We'll see how it goes. A warning on us doing this. First off, the notes I have are 12 pages long in a Word document, so we will...
You're going to action all of those.
We are not... I know. It's a New Year's resolution. But this is what's going to happen is I will be picking and choosing some of them, some things as we come up as conversation, and I go, hey, that's relevant here. I will bring it up. Anything that was a major theory, because we know, as much as we love our evolution theory, I do not do theories, and a lot of people try to use this to talk Red God theory, and a lot of people also just threw out whatever question I asked and answered a different one, and so those have been removed as well. Also a reminder that this was supposed to focus on Lightbringer, so everyone who answered things that didn't happen in Lightbringer, I will be making fun of you for. So that is just your warning. We love all of you for submitting, but if you do not hear your answer, it's not because it's not great. I just don't have time for it. Or you went far too down some kind of rabbit hole that I was not here for. So those are your two things on here. Cool? Shall we jump right in? We're all happy?
Go.
All right.
Yes.
Eyes closed, head first, can't lose.
Yeah! All right. The number one question was, who is Darrow's best friend? Do you guys have any predictions on who you would say?
Severo.
And you're going Severo, and what the general consensus you think was. So that's the thing, is you can say your opinion as well as what you think the fandom's opinion is.
Okay, I hands down think fandom thinks Severo.
Okay.
I think I was the one that answered Darrow's hands.
Yes! Yes! I was going to say, I love whoever put his hands. Here, okay, before I jump in on that one, Crescent, so you're just saying Severo for both what you would answer and the fandom would answer, or?
I would answer Severo. The other theory is Ragnar or Cassius.
Ooh, okay. Mm-hmm. So I gave Severo, Mustang, and Cassius as the 3 options, and then you could put other. So someone put... So, okay, we now know who put his hands. It is the one and only Salem.
It's me.
Someone else wrote Victra, baby. And somebody, I would say, basically cheated and said Severo and Cassius by Lightbringer. You gotta pick a side here, people.
You pick one.
You gotta pick one. But Victra,
no, you can have more than one best friend, right?
That is very true. You can, and there is a very good case for that in here. I will bring it up in a moment. I will say that a lot of these comments, there is a very divided stance on if a spouse can be a best friend. Like, I'll read some of those comments. There's a very good one, but I feel like that's a larger debate for not a book podcast. That seems like a relationships or therapy podcast. I don't know.
Wait a second. A relationships podcast?
Skipper, did you forget what your podcast is?
All right.
It's like a hot take appropriate.
Do you guys want to somehow dig in on that? I will. Okay, fine. Here, we're right off the cusp. The pro Severo people are... There's a lot of people who are very passionate about it. All of these questions have at least one answer that I was like, okay, calm down. So right off the top, it's obviously Severo. He's enemies with Cassius, or totally removed from him and ignorant of his doings for all but 1.5 of the 6 published books. Severo is right there with him for the most time and loves him dearly. I can't say Mustang, because I don't like or believe in the marry your best friend thing. The relationship between husband and wife, while it has aspects of friendships, is oh, that's a big word. Qualitative. Oh, I've been drinking too much.
Qualitative?
Quantitatively
I got you.
different from that of friends. So someone very passionate about how it can't be Mustang, and how it can't be Cassius. So there is that one, and then there was another one also somewhere in here of where is it? Basically just saying, nope, that's the same one. Yeah, best friend and spouse are different things, and those who say different are talking nonsense. Cassius was an occasionally useful pain in the ass, is someone else's. So there is someone else. Cassius.
Wow, that person's honor does not, in fact, remain.
There is a lot of Cassius hate in this. There is more Cassius hate in this survey than I thought there was. So not next week, we're going to take a week off. The week after the Cast Bash, I might pull some of this information to there, because there is people... The next one, Cassius is spoiled rich boy for most of the time we know him. I love his arc, and I come to love him again before the end, but has nothing on Severo's loyalty and trust. But back to what you were saying, this is what I first wanted to pull out before we got sidetracked, Salem, is you were saying about 2 different best friends. So Severo is the best friend of Red Darrow. Cassius is the best friend of Gold Darrow. Severo understands it's not all power and venom. He has the family bonds that Darrow missed out on with EO. So is that what you were saying? Of like, you can have more than one best friend?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that totally. I mean, and you definitely can have, kind of like that represents, is you can have different best friends throughout your life. And you can have, I mean, a big theme in these books is splitting yourself, and whether or not that's necessary. And I do think in different aspects of your life that your spouse can be your best friend. I mean, I personally think that if you're not best friends with your spouse, then you might have a more difficult time actually being in a relationship with them long term. But then you also have friends that, like, I've had friends since kindergarten that are my best friends, and I don't think I could ever be without them. But I still have those friends versus I have you guys as friends, and I have my significant other as a best friend. So I definitely think you can have different best friends for different things.
For sure.
Yep.
Crescent, opinion on any of this?
Not here for the Cassius hate.
Not here for the Cassius.
Need to restate that. Yeah, no, I agree as well with being able to have multiple best friends, because I also have multiple best friends. You don't necessarily, it's not necessarily like somebody that you talk to all the time and, you know, like can't get through a day without them, but it's those people that, like, you know, you haven't spoken for years, like Darrow and Cassius, and they show back up or you reach back out and it's like no time has passed.
Yeah, I would agree with that I have different best friends for different purposes. And
different facets of your personality.
Exactly. I have the people that, as you say, are there every day. I talk to every day, constantly. Even if it's texting versus in person. The ones that are the long terms that I will call. I know that if I'm having a panic attack or whatever, they will answer. Even though I don't, it could be 2 months. They are the one who is there. And then, like, I haven't been with my significant other for long enough, I would say, to be at that best friend, though I do believe that by the time you're married, you should basically be there. But on that level, my siblings, I would call my 2 sisters my best friends, even though that is also a very different relationship that I think some people would go, oh, that's not a best friend, that's a sibling. And it's like, yeah, but that's a different facet. So I do agree that there is different elements. So perhaps the person who cheated and put Severo and Cassius, maybe you are in the right. Though I do like the person who just, in all caps lock, he has his eyes. Calm down.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Calm down.
Hey, we're here for Howler Energy.
Yeah, there is a lot of a few people repeating of accepted Darrow as a red, never ran away when he found out Darrow was a red. He saw Darrow for who he was and accepted him just as he is. So there is a lot with that. And then I'm going to say the final pro Severo one, just because it leads very well into the next 2. Then I'm going to read as he has been his loyal friend since the Institute. Although Mustang is one of his best friends, she is also his wife and sovereign, which changes the status a little bit. And I do say that I think Mustang or Virginia and the Reaper have a very different relationship than Mustang and Darrow. So that could throw it there. But then this person says, Cassius is a dear friend of his and always will be, but I doubt anyone could ever replace Severo. So I think that sums it up very well of the different levels.
Yep.
I agree.
For pro Mustang, there is someone who is just Mustang is his ride or die for sure. Literally.
Quite literally.
Literally. And then I almost chose others because it feels like Darrow has become his own world and everyone else revolves around him at a distance. But throughout Lightbringer, the only person he trusts without a hint of hesitation or resentment is Virginia. So there you go. This person has stayed true to the Lightbringer aspect of this. And then only one comment pro Cassius in which they quoted, "Without you on this journey, I would have fallen apart. You're my brother, Cassius. Cassius, I wasn't just talking about this trip. By journey, I meant my life. We speak a common language, you know. We've always understood each other deep down." And then they follow up with Cassius is able to draw the boy out of Darrow and also able to show us who Darrow is as a man. There's some grammar here. They are an equally yoked pair, unlike Darrow and Severo, or even Darrow and Virginia. Kudos to that person for doing homework in that one and their research.
Yep.
Yeah.
We don't even do that.
I know, right?
No.
It's possible that these are not real quotes. I didn't look them up.
No, that's a real quote.
That's a real quote. Okay,
that's
great.
a real quote. Chapter
Crescent would know.
Yeah.
Oh god, even the chapter?
Yeah.
Nope, 78. It's on the Bridge of the Archimedes.
But yeah, so overall, 72% said Severo, 11% for Mustang, 8% Cassius, and then 2.8 to Severo and Cassius, Victra baby, and his hands. Surprised? Shocked? Do we feel like this is how it was going to be?
I'm more
I thought it was
surprised
gonna be
about
way
the.
higher for Cassius.
Yeah, I didn't think that there'd be as much Cassius hate or dislike.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm also not surprised that Severo ranks highest.
I think Severo overall is always the fan favorite. We've known that for since Golden Sun, when there was in the fandom, there was a hashtag of "Don't Kill Severo." That was like one of the first T-shirts you could buy was "Don't Kill Severo." And so I think Severo will always just be the fan favorite. And I always think back to when Philip from Hail Reaper asked us, "Do you read this as a howler or like an outside observer?" And how many people might be just putting their love of Severo into this question.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All right. On to the next. All right. So the next one is thoughts on Diomedes and Ori. And your three options are love, just like, or means to an end. How do you guys think that this went down?
I'm in the love camp.
You're in love.
Darrow is not an I notice like interpersonal relationships person.
Yeah.
And he says, seldom can I look at somebody and look at people and tell that they're in love. And yeah, I mean, if it was like Lysander saying something about it, which he does in Iron Gold, we might be like, maybe he's reading too much into that.
Yeah.
But
I think I ended up, because I think your last question on the survey was something about something that we didn't get to cover or whatever it was. And I actually, in relation to this question, is what I put was I think that Diomedes and Ari are maybe not. They're kind of the planets circling each other and never actually meeting. They're almost that forbidden love where
I have your exact
maybe they're
wording
not
here.
Yeah, what did I say?
You said Diomedes and Ori, fourth category, equals forbidden love due to duty and unforeseen circumstances. So there you go, because I was like, hey, someone wrote this later. Yeah. I got it.
Yeah, because I don't think that they really have ever had a chance to truly experience that. They definitely have feelings for each other, and they've probably at some point had to face them head on, but at this point, they don't have the ability to actually act on it.
Yep. Yeah, makes total sense. I will say that this one shocked me. I thought it was going to be like 100% love. And then as I was that person who was like updating this like every 6 hours. I was like, do we have new responses? Do we have new responses? And when people started reporting in with means to an end, it kind of shocked me. I didn't think that would be what people put, but those who wrote responses, thank you very much. I think everyone who wrote a response to this one was very, thought very well on it, and those means to an end people gave their explanation. So I'll start though with what we, the well, it's not overwhelming. It's 61% is love. Someone just gut feeling. Straight to the point. I have a gut feeling about it. Someone, Diomedes, is clearly in love with Ori, and I think she loves him, albeit perhaps not in a romantic sense. Otherwise, I don't think she could / would have kept him alive in Lightbringer and tried to persuade him to become the champion of the low colors. There's Diomedes seemed to want Ori with him, while Ori would do what she needed for the best of both of them, even if it wasn't popular at the time. Like, whoever put, I mean, the text is clear, 40% of people voted against you, so I don't think the text is that clear. Someone put amazing foils for each other. When I read this, my comment was, it's almost like Pride and Prejudice, where Lizzie moves in, Mr. Darcy shows up, he's being his pompous ass, not that Diomedes is pompous, but he's higher up there, and Lizzie kind of, I'm sure when they first meet, is like, not this guy, and then just that slow moving in of like, oh, maybe he's something, maybe I can grow to like him, and then you get that whole story. That's how I perceive their whole relationship going down, and we're just seeing it at the end, where Lizzie's at the point of like, hey, he's not as bad as I thought he was.
Double.
Oh,
okay, but could you imagine Diomedes doing the hand flex?
Oh, I will be for the
for the end of time.
Skipper says, I can't stop imagining.
Because he is that kind of stoic that would totally do something like that.
I need to calm down. I need some water.
Okay.
I'm thinking about...
Diomedes is a Mr. Darcy.
Yes. Crescent, do you even know what the hand flex is?
Not a damn clue.
It is the Pride and Prejudice.
I'm just going to sit here and smile.
Yes.
Can you stitch in the hand flex?
We will have the GIF going right now of it. It is from the 2005 Pride and Prejudice.
Look it up?
Yes.
It is the 2005 Pride and Prejudice. You need the context that it is. First off, it was improv. It was not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Matthew McFadden is just that good. But it is the idea he's helped Lizzie into the carriage. He's being stoic. He's being great. But he's touched her. So he just needs to release that like tension. And he just flexes his hand in such a way.
At that point in time, it was improper to really have physical contact with another woman when you're not married.
Yes.
And how in that Regency era it was highly looked down upon, which is why Bridgerton is so scandalous.
I haven't watched Bridgerton.
Bunch of hoes.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much, if we're being honest.
Yeah. But yeah. I'm here for Diomedes, Mr. Darcy. Oh, I'm here for it.
Oh my god, and so Diomedes makes sense.
Yes. All right,
He's
moving
a character
on.
archetype.
Yep. For her to love him means that he is who the Rising and the Rim needs. Whew, there we go. I believe, even the wording of this, now I'm reading everything as if it's Pride and Prejudice. I believe in Diomedes and that his feelings are honest and true. That seems very Jane Austen. Whether they can come to full fruition due to the story is another thing, but I do believe in both of them and that they are in fact in love. Cute. So that's it for the love portion. We then move on to the people who said is, I don't know, she could do better than a dude in the family that owned her. So this is where I went, I can see the other side of this. Someone else just said mostly because Ori isn't my fave. That, I don't know if that changes the like versus love, but that's your opinion. But then, okay, so the means to an end. And I was like, who would put means to an end? Unacceptable, creepy power dynamic. So I get it. Like, now I will say that Ori and the Pinks we know can manipulate. We've had this discussion about Mateo and Quicksilver. And while Quicksilver is a higher color, the Pinks do have the ability to manipulate in such a capacity that it almost evens out the playing field. We've had that between Quicksilver and Mateo, so I can see that here. But I can see how people would see it as a creepy power dynamic. Thoughts on that one?
I only think that it is creepy if Diomedes was not a gentleman.
Yep.
And I think in my brain, especially, and maybe that's a lot of the show not tell kind of stuff that we're seeing versus somebody specifically saying it, or Pierce specifically saying it in the dialogue or whatnot. Diomedes tends to have more of a regal, stoic, and honest type of personality. Now, if this had been somebody within Atalantia's team, then yeah, totally, that would be very predatory in the hierarchy. But I don't think that this personally is that.
Yeah, and I think the number of times that Ori kind of like not quite browbeats, but like kind of reprimands Diomedes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there is an at this point. At one point, there definitely was a definite power imbalance, but at this point, I don't think there is.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think maybe personally, the romantic in me likes to think that it's that idea of love crossing the different colors. Where you could have a gold actually be in love with a pink and vice versa. And again, you see that with Mateo and Quicksilver is they are different colors, but they do actually love each other.
Kitchener and Bryn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. For sure. The other two are interesting when they've two other people have put means to an end. And their posts, I will say, their comments are more about the writing and the story than actually opinions, if that makes sense. Like the one says they were convenient to have around, they serve a purpose. I don't know if that reflects on their love story or like means to an end in Lightbringer. Like they were convenient to have around Darrow and they serve a purpose. So I don't know on that one. And same with the other one was basically that they just didn't see enough to see love, instead just saw respect. So I get that, yeah, if you're not fully seeing it written out on a page, you might not answer. But yeah, that one was an interesting one because I didn't think means to an end would be an option anyone chose.
I am curious because now thinking about how people answered it, what was your intention for wording it as means to an end?
Mine was because it's, Ori had to follow through on something. I don't think means to an end as much on Diomedes' part, but Ori having to be in the situation she was. So was Diomedes in just the position she put in means to an end? You are right. My wording may have confused people. And we see this later on. There will be a couple things that I had to reword the question because people just clearly
I guess I more mean, like, I guess when I think means to an end, I think their relationship. That their relationship is a means to like the end of their relationship. Like they're not meant to be together. Those questions though kind of seem more like that they are, because you have love, like, and means to an end, and I feel like it's more of people are choosing means to an end because they're not meant to be together and they won't be together.
Yep.
So,
which is definitely fair. Which, I mean, to be fair, the third thing I was going to put was, and this is, you'll see when I did Cassius and Lyria, I put they secretly hate each other. And that almost became the third here.
yeah.
Because I almost put they secretly hate each other. But yeah. Crescent thoughts?
No, you guys have summed that one up pretty good.
All right. Okay, so the next one gets messy because it was an open-ended question from the beginning, and everyone spelt. There's a couple of these throughout as we go through that everyone spelt everything differently. So for me to go,
Oh,
it
no.
took me like half an hour on some of these questions to figure out what you were all trying to say. But the next one is the favorite relationship in Lightbringer. So anyone could open it to anything. All cards are on the table. I will say there's a few of these that are not in Lightbringer. I'll bring them up at the end, but guys, the question directly said in Lightbringer. So overwhelmingly, everyone's. Do you guys have a guess, or what did you put, Salem? What would you have put, Crescent?
I don't remember what I put.
You don't remember? Okay.
No. This was almost a month ago.
Yeah.
So the question was, what is your favorite relationship in
Favorite
Lightbringer?
relationship, and I think let me find the exact wording because I think I said enemy, friends, or lovers. So you can say enemies as well. I figure people were going to go for just lovers, and that's where I think a couple people in here put what? But yeah, you could put enemies as well.
I think I might have put a couple. Because I definitely liked Cassius and Darrow because they got that chance to finally be friends again. And I think that was so detrimental to the ending of it was just the way that it made it so emotional is because even they both think about how they were so close and they were so close to actually having a good relationship again, and then it was just torn away. And I think that in Lightbringer, I really liked a lot of their stuff, especially in the beginning when they're just fighting and you get all those little like quirky moments. I think that was my top favorite. I did like the way that Cassius and Lyria did kind of bloom, but I'm sad that we didn't get to see a lot of that.
Yeah.
I'm also a big Darrow Cassius guy, but I think there's a couple really strong, like shortly shown relationships. Pax and Virginia.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I kind of forget about that one. That you get them at the
it's super quick.
Yeah.
Super quick. And then Mustang with Victra and Holiday.
Yeah. I also really liked Mustang and Holiday and how that panned out.
Yeah.
I will be honest, I think the first few chapters of them together, I was really worried that Holiday was going to turn on her for some reason. But I was also excited to see how loyal Holiday was to her afterward.
Yeah. For sure. Well, it's this one I will call overwhelming. I'm trying to do that math in my head because man, I didn't. 30%. There's a lot of answers, and that would almost that'd be pretty much perfect. 30% said Darrow and Cassius. With the comments of the relationship between Cassius and Darrow and Lightbringer is just so beautiful. These are two impressive, great-souled men who would love one another as brothers if they only had the chance. And to see them reconcile and prove one another, iron sharpens iron, is beautiful. Something else, the willingness to share in everything. Also, there is never struggle or need to pull teeth. They can be in sync with a snap of a finger, even through a disagreement, unlike Darrow and Severo. It was awesome seeing them become the brothers they were always meant to, without the secrets between them anymore. So that was definitely the top one. And the second one, Salem, you kind of nailed it, is Lyria Cassius. Someone put Eagle and Eaglet adorably. With comments of cry, such big brother vibes. And I love their dynamic so much. For what we got to see and what we didn't, These are two polar opposite characters with so much baggage, seeking and finding absolution in each other. I loved all of it. Yeah. I would say Lyria Cassius is one of my favorite blooming relationships. And the reason I ended up liking Cassius so much in the end was a lot to do with how he treated Lyria. That to me is his movement of how you can see he treats the low colors. Because Darrow and him is great that they've reconciled and they're brothers and it's a beautiful relationship they have. But at the end of the day, Cassius could still be Gold Cassius, but with Lyria, it just showed that faceted personality of his. How he's grown was because through Lyria was shown, in my opinion. I don't think, I tried to just look through it. Nobody said Mustang and Holiday on here, which I'm shocked. I will say someone said Mustang and Screwface. Adorable.
I think that was my other one. Because that one just got me, was the way that they melded together. Like, I don't know. I feel like he's such a sweetheart and he just needs that friend. And in the end, Virginia actually is that friend for him.
For sure. Two people for Mustang and Victra, for two of the greatest forces to finally come together again after ruin for the sake of their love for each other and the greater good of the Rising was wonderful to read. Almost mirrored Darrow and Savro's bond, and I wish we got a little bit more. Yep, so Mustang and Victra, I always love them together. And I'm
excited to see.
Yep.
Yeah.
What happens.
It's coming in Red God for sure.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the Avengers Assemble moment.
Yep.
Yes.
Two people said Severo, Cassius, Darrow, combining all three of them into one. One person said Cassius and Ori, which is interesting.
Oh.
No comment on it, but just
Like
Cassius
getting
and
Cassius put in his place.
Maybe. I can see that. Yep. Two people said Darrow and Apple.
Oh.
Yeah, and we did say enemies.
It was so long ago. I forget that.
That happened in this one.
I know.
Apple was to me one of the top 3 most honorable / dishonorable characters, but most honor-driven people. Yes, he did betray, but his image of and how other people viewed his wins meant just as much to him. He would have slaughtered Darrow and had the chance, but felt so unevenly matched that he didn't believe it was a real win. None of Lightbringer happens if he doesn't make that decision. Yep. There you go. Only one person put Lyria and Volga and said it's the one that I legitimately buy into. They really do prioritize one another. I will say we only saw them for a short amount of time. Hopefully to see them more
like
in Red.
3 chapters.
Yeah.
Only 2 people put Severo and Darrow, including one person who put Severo plus Sun Butter. Just kidding, it's our Wolfie boys, Severo and Darrow. No. Severo plus Sun Butter is a superior relationship. Let's be serious.
Yep.
It's the equivalent of Darrow in his hands.
Yeah. I will say the other person who put Severo and Darrow wrote, because I'm a basic bitch. You own that.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. One person put Fa and Atlas. They just sound
I mean, interesting.
Yeah.
But
Ew. But I mean, they do have a pretty good friendship.
It is. Yep. It's a very interesting one. They just sound like true friends, and I think it an honest friendship. Yes, they have done awful things, but from what little glimpse I've got, made me happy for them. Happy that they even have a damned position in which they were able to find true friends in one another. There you go.
I mean, villains need friends.
Villains do need friends. It's an interesting one, though, because I don't know. I guess Atlas maybe viewed him as a friend. I think there's a different power dynamic. Like, is this a case where we go back to, like, Atlas is Fa's best friend, but is Fa Atlas's best friend? Like, that seems interesting to me.
No, Atlas's best friend died a long time ago. Brutus.
Brutus, who he kind of got killed, did he not? Is that not how that worked?
Yes. Kind of.
Isn't Brutus
I don't think it was Atlas that got him killed.
Oh.
Brutus is Lysander's father.
Dad. Oh, yeah. I thought Atlas was part of all of that. It was just Atlantia and them.
Yeah.
Atalantia. What's her face? Kalendora.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, because I think I was upset that Atlas knew, but he didn't do anything to stop it, I think. And then Lysander was all pissy about whatever. So.
Yep.
About everything.
Yeah. Typical Lysander.
But yeah, interesting that Fa and Atlas came up in this. Like, I like that person for thinking about the outside the box. Good on you. Good on you.
Yeah.
Give us something to discuss.
Well, no, Fa's head is in a box now. Wait, so is Atlas's?
Where's Atlas's?
They're buddies.
Well, we assume.
Did
Actually,
Atlas
no.
get torpedoed?
Atlas's head is all over the hangar.
Oh no.
Remember? Lysander shoots him in the head.
Yes. Wow. Moving on from that one is some of what I want to call the more
Both sides
fun.
of the box.
No! More fun. I'm going to move on to the more fun responses that people gave.
Yes, please do.
Actually, before
this time, we're going to be tired across it.
Yeah. 2 people said Victra and Severo, and I would argue that their relationship is not at all in Lightbringer. Darrow and Mustang's relationship is at least in. You're like, no. I don't know what book these people were reading. And the question clearly states in Lightbringer, this is not the case of when we did the Red Rising survey and everyone got confused on the book versus the series. Guys, no. But moving on from that one, somebody put Howlers and Dominus Portobello, the Nuke King.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Someone else said Cassius and the Archimedes, which I immediately get Captain Jack Sparrow stop blowing holes in my ship vibes from that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I literally, with the last one with Dominus Portobello, was definitely thinking, I've got a jar of dirt.
Yeah. Yep. Someone put just the full team Archimedes heading off to the rim in Lightbringer. Strange little pack there. Like someone just went, we're putting them all together. And then ones other than Victor and Sever that were not in Lightbringer. I don't know what book these people were reading, but it was not Lightbringer. Reaper and Jackal. That's not even in Dark Age.
I'm sorry. That's not even in this
trilogy. Yeah.
Yep. Alex and Rona. And says, I just love when PB develops or teasers relationships between different colors. I appreciate you. That's not Lightbringer. Unless they're united in heaven. They're in the veil. Together.
Rip in pieces.
Aww. And then the last one, there might be a case that this
Hashtag
is
Rona lives.
I know, I was just going to say, I think Rona might still be alive.
What, she's just listed as lost, isn't she, in the opening? Yep. She's just
lost.
Same
with Evie.
Yeah. Where is Evie? Where is she?
Guymer.
You mean Alice?
Where is she?
Yeah. And then the last one, which there could be argument that this is brought up in Lightbringer, is Ragnar and Darrow. Again, like, Darrow and Severo both make very good statements about Ragnar in this, especially to Volga. But I would say their relationship is not in Lightbringer.
I think the relationship's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's over. You know who has technically more page time?
Who?
Darrow and Valdir.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, in
I just
Lightbringer.
want to know
In Lightbringer.
how did we get so attached to Ragnar in such short amount of time?
We just
because
really wanted
BFG.
the friendly giant. Yeah, it's the pack syndrome.
Yeah.
We just love our big, friendly.
I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Darrow and Valdir. Darrow's totally clueless. And Mustang is like, no. Valdir wanted him.
Yep. Yeah. You're saying in Lightbringer they get more page, not in the whole series. Okay. I was like,
yeah, no, not in general. Just in Lightbringer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're in the book.
They are in the book in comparison to. Yeah. But yeah, I really liked that one, especially leaving it open ended. I'm glad I did that because it gave people so many options. And again, to whoever put Severo plus Sun Butter, just kidding. Own up to it. Just put Severo and Sun Butter.
Yeah.
Just do
Don't
it.
put don't JK us, you coward.
Yeah. Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, say it with your chest.
All right.
I mean, at $10 a jar, you better love it.
Yeah. I still need to try it.
That's US dollars.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like...
It's like 13 Canadian.
Yeah. Almost 14 at this point. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just in the US and it hurt me. It hurt me so much to pay for anything.
That's why the Canadians come down here all the time.
Yeah.
And shop.
All right. So our next question is more serious. We're going to rein it back in. The more fun ones are at the end of this. And I will say that, so the question originally, how it read was, do you agree with tabula rasa? And I had to kind of in the final hour put Quicksilvers because we were getting lots of questions. And this is one of the few that people messaged me being like, I need you to explain. Because I think people forgot what tabula rasa was. And even one of the answers somewhere in here fully said, I don't understand what this question means. So it was for the longest time 50-50. And I don't know if that's people answering yes or no just to get rid of the question. But it has, how it finally ended is 66% no. How do you guys, do you think that's fair to say that that's probably how the fandom, how do you feel about it? What does that look like?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's probably pretty accurate to what the fandom thinks.
Yeah.
That's
I agree.
pretty much what I think. You're like, it's understandable, but I don't agree with it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the gist of it is the way, so I think a lot of people, especially when we've done the read along in the den, a lot of people get angry about it. Or they get heated or they get frustrated by it because they feel, which Severo very pointedly points out, that Quicksilver is giving up.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, when I read that, especially because my parents are retiring now, I saw that as you're not necessarily giving up. You are like Quicksilver and Mateo are gotten to the age where they're retiring and they're moving on to something else.
Yeah.
And it hurts because like one of my parents is moving across the country and all of a sudden, and it almost was kind of a slap in the face, but then it's also like, well, you haven't had the chance to do this in your life. You've been wanting to do this. You've been wanting to get away. And now you're taking that chance to do it. And for me, although I am frustrated that Quicksilver and Mateo are leaving the fight, and they've used all of their expenses to create this giant asteroid spaceship to then go travel the universe. Like, I am frustrated by it, but I also understand it. Like, they need this new chapter in their life. They can't just keep fighting it and then not actually seeing any of the benefits because they're not going to see it in their lifetime.
Backing up the RV and fucking off.
Yep.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Crescent thoughts?
I don't know. I do not agree with it. Like I said, I understand that they won't necessarily see the benefits of their labor in their lifetime in solar system, but they're just leaving. And I mean, yeah, sure, there's other people fighting, but they're taking their massive technological advantage and leaving billions of people to just get by.
Yep.
Maybe.
I think that's
Or die.
I think that's where it like personally hurts so bad, is because they have all of that technology and they very well could just give that technology away and they could practically win the war at this point if they just did it, but they don't. And I think that's why it's frustrating, is because they want to take what they have and move on with it because they think that they've handed it all down to the next generation.
So you're saying the billionaires are taking their money and running.
Yes.
Yep. I
I
think
did an Austin Powers reference for those that are listening.
Yes.
$1 million.
$1 million. You guys kind of nailed it on the head and really summed up what all the comments. I will say, as we debate through whether or not the statistics on this is right, yes had 4 people put written answers through, and one of them doesn't actually argue for yes. I'll read that one in a second. Rather than no has 1, 2, 3, 6. So that is pretty much the 66 versus 33 split is how people have commented, at least. But again, that first one, there are major caveats, but I doubt you'll get many yeses. So I'll go with yes with caveats instead of no with caveats. Getting the fuck out of Dodge and trying to create something better. Great idea. I'm totally in. Problem is that old Quick is blindsided by 800 years of monoculture and has misidentified the root problems and thus will speedrun his way to disaster. Someone else, if you have ever felt true burnout, you can understand Quicksilver, just as a trauma survivor can see themselves in F. In both cases, that's Ephraim, EPHF. In both cases, you want to rage against their decisions and the repercussions they leave, but they're highly empathetic and relatable characters. So I definitely get that. It's kind of what you were saying there, Salem, of it makes sense that you want to leave. You want to retire. You want to get away. Someone else, nothing else has worked. It's an experiment worth exploring. And then curious concept, I'd like to see what it will lead to. But I think, unfortunately, I doubt we will ever see them again. I think they are gone unless they have some weird change of heart, and it would be a little bit, what's the term I'm looking at?
Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah. The nose is a lot of he's taking the easy way out. The idea is deranged. He's afraid of the monster he helped create and is abandoning the world. I understand it, but you still have to fix what you can. It's idealist. And then part yes or no. Quick was always passionate about changing society, so it's a bit wild to me how he dropped it for fake reality. Imagine Darrow doing that. I would accept it more if he had left a secret goodie bag of assistance for Darrow somewhere. I think Quick would have been eaten alive with guilt had he not at least warned Mustang and Darrow about his plans to disappear. So interesting, that last one. Yeah. So yeah, that seems to be the one dividing the fandom. Sorry, go on.
I posed the question of, because I was thinking while you were reading those, how I've also thought about Quicksilver no longer has any friends that are fighting.
Yep.
And Fitchner was the last one, and Fitchner was the whole reason that he was in there. So, one, why would he stay if he doesn't have anybody there to support besides Darrow? And Darrow seems to have it handled pretty well. Well,
Yep.
not really well, but for now. But then that made me think, do you think Fitchner, if he were still alive, would he still be fighting? Or do you think he would have handed it over to Severo?
Definitely still fighting. 100%. Batman was a ball of rage.
Yeah.
But would he be, I guess maybe the question should be, would he still be Ares? Or would he have handed that over to Severo because Severo would be more physically able-bodied in his youth?
I don't know if 12 years would have changed that. Because Fitchner's not half red.
Yeah.
But
Never know. We'll never know.
No, we won't. It
thanks,
isn't.
Cassius.
Yeah. It is an interesting question though, because now I'm thinking of would we look at the Severo Darrow dynamic, and would that have worked just as well with Darrow Fitchner when they go, and you get the Ares Reaper going side by side, when they go into the daughters. Well, would the Docs of Ganymede have there's so many different things that may or may not
there
have
would be
happened.
so much butterfly effect.
Yeah. Interesting. Let us, everybody, know in the comments what you think of where that sits, because that's a very interesting.
Yeah,
I'd love
and you
to
know
explore
what?
that further.
While you're down there,
Yeah.
like and subscribe.
Let's like and subscribe to things. And as we say like and subscribe, it should light up. I've learned it does. Like and subscribe, and the thing will light
That's
up
nifty.
so you know where to click. This is on YouTube. Those of you listening on Spotify, we love you too. Please make sure you subscribe so that you get all of our updates.
Also, if you could just pop over to YouTube and just quickly hit subscribe.
Yeah.
Cost you nothing.
How many followers are you at right now?
We're at 172.
We're at 172.
Ooh, you're close to 200.
Yeah. Yes. So that would be lovely if people could do that for us. That would be great. I think at that point, that's a great moment for us to go get more drinks, because mine's been empty for a little bit. So let's go do that. And while we all do that, let's all just think about Cassius and Lyria while we're gone and formulate our ideas on that one, because that's our next question. Okay. All right. See you back in a moment. Join us next week as we conclude your Lightbringer answers. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching. Let us know in the comments all the feedback you have so far and what answers you want to expand on.